Murray swings it out. Radcliff delivered a shot. Oh, then he got knocked out.
And that is how you get back into AAF coverage. Brandon Radcliff, you should retire from the AAF and buy a big rig because you were born to truck. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. The only thing I've ever trucked was an ottoman after finishing off a box of wine, Perna. The Apollos are no longer undefeated. The Commanders are back in first place. Luis Perez is throwing touchdowns like Garrett Gilbert, and Peter Pujols is playing quarterback in Atlanta, and Johnny Manziel will be an Express QB this week. I missed 1 week of AAF coverage, and this is what happens? Call me nostalgic, but I missed the honest days of Alliance football before it became commercial and we could rely on Christian Hackenberg and Matt Sims to underperform like myself in choir class. That's good sports. Yeah, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's free, it's easy, don't be stupid. Also, I am sorry that I missed last week covering the AAF. Yes, I was knee-deep in NFL free agency coverage, but also my grandma died. So if you've got a real problem with it, you can blame her. But you're gonna have to go up to heaven to do it, and I don't think they're gonna let your ass in just to make a complaint. And I wanted to tell you that, not because I want your sympathy. We're all doing fine. Yes, it was very sad. I was very close to her, but I'm telling you that because there are people who donate to this channel via Patreon, and I feel obligated to keep you in the loop when I miss a bunch of fucking videos. So, there. Consider that my apology, and now you are in the loop, but I know it's okay because I had a good reason to miss making some stupid videos about some stupid football league that I do like it. I do like it. Recaps are back. Memphis Express versus Salt Lake Stallions. Stallions win 22-9. Big surprise here, the Express lose again and are forced to take a hit of Johnny Manziel to see if it can uplift them out of their football depression. Careful, Memphis. I know your city is known for crime and meth, but chasing the dragon is a dangerous game. Also, why the hell are Dragons not an AAF team? The Denver Dragons! It'd be so cool. It's the most beloved and fierce mythical creature ever created. A dragon is testosterone's answer to the unicorn. But the Memphis Stallions review is already up on the Johnny Manziel video, so check it there. Arizona Hotshots get a W over the Orlando Apollos 22-17. I'm enjoying the AAF, but they're getting a little too cozy, a little too confident in their comedy.
Enjoyed watching the two of you. Had some offensive lineman humor in there, as you'd like to sprinkle in oh so often, along with a couple of movie lines.
Yeah, we threw a few in there.
The bar for football comedy is so low that if I ever get a chance, I will rise above that bar. Slightly above that bar, like I'm doing my third pull-up. But good lord, guys. The Hotshots defense made a statement in this game, holding the most prolific wide receiver, Charles Johnson, to an all-time low 28 receiving yards. He did score an early touchdown, though. My other question is, did the Apollos offense finally stall, or did the Apollos offense finally face a formidable defense with the healthy Steven Johnson back on the field? Probably a little bit of both. Johnson really is a difference maker for the Hotshots. He led the team in tackles in his first game back with 8 and had an interception. Apollo's quarterback, Garrett Gilbert, threw his first interception of the season. Imagine that. Gilbert threw a pick before Luis Perez ever threw a touchdown, and then Luis Perez threw 3 fucking touchdowns. The Greek god Apollo promised Perez he'd throw as many TDs as his tiny heart could handle, but not until the AAF chosen one, Garrett Gilbert Grapes, threw his first interception. It's taken me a while, guys, but I'm really starting to figure out how the gods and the Alliance work.
Excuse me, on sportsmanlike defense, number 51 for throwing a punch. Number 51 is disqualified. It's a 15-yard penalty from the subsequent spot, first down.
Wow, Terence Garvin.
And it's rigged. The AAF is officially rigged. The Apollos, the only reason they lose is because their best defensive player gets ejected for barely touching another player's face mask. That's almost as appalling as putting the wrong graphics on the wrong coaches on the sideline, but this is stupid. Come on, AAF, don't be like the NFL. If a player punches another player while they're wearing their helmet and it hits their face mask, that's not an ejectable offense. It's just stupidity. Flag them for being stupid, don't it? Oh my God.
Sometimes the hands lingered a little too much.
Oh boy, is that it?
That was an open hand.
Not only did Gilbert toss a pick, he was under pressure quite a bit throughout the day, hit 7 times, and also fumbled the ball on one of those said hits. The dire Wolf returned. John the Wolford threw an outstanding 162 yards and a touch. That's not that impressive, especially when you consider he was sacked 0 times. Wolford, you gotta be more productive. A no-sack performance has only happened one other time this season. You know what I call a no-sack performance? When I go to the grocery store and buy just enough food that I can carry out all of my food using just my hands. What, you thought I was gonna go and hit you with some bad sex joke? That's not how comedy works. Do you want me to explain to you how comedy works? It's all about surprise and timing. It's like the zone blocking scheme. Your offensive line and running back move in one direction, as does the entire defense, and then when the timing is right, blam, the running back cuts across the grain, making everyone laugh. That's why you shouldn't use plastic sacks at the grocery store. A no-sack performance will save the jellyfish, just like this Hotshots win may have saved their season, as they are back in the mix with the San Diego Fleet chasing the Commanders. But if Apollo linemen knew how to get set in a hurry-up offense at the end of the game, we could have witnessed the greatest comeback in AAF history. Could have. The Commanders beat the Legends in a blowout 37-6.
Going to have to come from Aaron Murray. He's going to have to make plays.
Kenny here's ball came up. And it's recovered.
The best way to make up for a fumble in the first quarter is to do that trucking thing I showed you at the very beginning by Brandon Radcliff. That one play by Radcliff is really the only Legends highlight worth showing. And he's probably not even the most relevant Radcliff right now after J.K. Rowling decided that Harry Potter's greatest magic trick was making anal beads disappear. Aaron Murray channeled his inner Matt Sims and threw 3 interceptions after playing nearly 3 full games of good football. He probably should have thrown 7 picks, but fortunately in the AAF, the only players worse at catching than wide receivers are defensive backs. Now the Commanders' defense is fighting to surpass the Iron as the best in the Alliance. They forced 4 turnovers in the first half last week. They forced 4 again against the Legends, even though their first fumble recovery by Duke Thomas may not have been a fumble. Might not have been one. Don't tell that to Kenneth Farrow, who easily scored on the next play. The Commanders should have had an 8-0 lead, but Logan Woodside missed a wide open throw in the back of the end zone. Not even fucking close, Logan. What would your father say about that?
Not okay.
And from what I hear, John Wolford was the son Wolverine always really wanted, Logan. Now, the Commanders, they scored in 7 seconds there. The only men scoring more quickly are the players on the Duke sideline.
Getting more attention. Getting more attention.
And after seeing this clip, Robert Kraft said, "I will now be attending every single game of March Madness." Anyway, Logan Woodside had himself a game, hit on 17 of his 23 attempts and tossed a couple touchdowns, including a perfect pass to former Bears tight end Evan Rodriguez. And as a Rodriguez not getting harassed on Twitter by Jose Canseco every 5 minutes, you have to imagine Evan is having a good week. Now, Evan, pay attention here, because you have 2 choices. Either you do not cheat and Jose Canseco will leave you alone on social media, or you cheat at work and in life, and you still marry J-Lo while having a net worth of somewhere around $300 million. Aaron Murray threw a pick 6 to Darren Smith, who returned it 87 yards the other way, another in a series of absurdly long touchdowns for the AAF on Sunday. Maybe everyone who wasn't hungover from St. Patrick's Day had a natural advantage in foot races. Hangovers, of course, are how the Snakes take their revenge every year. Makes you wonder when PETA will publicly disavow St. Patrick like they did Steve Irwin. And now I don't know what to think of Aaron Murray and all of those interceptions he threw. I was about to get on the Aaron Murray AAF train, but trains are an outdated form of travel, and I am just happy that I did not pay for a boarding ticket. Birmingham Iron versus San Diego Fleet. Iron win 32-29. Not that anyone was paying attention with all of the NFL free agency news flying around, but the Fleet were teasing new uniforms all week. Good thing they teased that, because I would have had no clue they were wearing new uniforms. They look exactly the same, just whiter. And my liberal beliefs can't allow me to support anything in this country getting whiter. This was a great game though, the Bercovici versus Perez showdown we were all talking about before the season started. I believe this was the first AAF game where two quarterbacks both threw for more than 300 yards. I mean, Bercovici and Perez were basically mirroring each other. 300 plus through the air, 3 passing touchdowns each, 2 interceptions each, and 1 2-point conversion. Both offenses were moving in this game, and yet each team only converted 1 2-point play, which I think is proof the 2-point play is stupid. And if the NFL adapts this rule, they are idiots. I'd rather watch the 7th round of the NFL draft than see another failed 2-point fucking conversion. Now, Nick Novak missed his first field goal attempt by about a mile, which makes sense because he's playing in the same stadium where he kicked with the Chargers, and apparently they still haven't been able to perform an exorcism on the ghost of Nate Kading yet. Kading. The very intimidating ghost of Nate Kading. Iron receiver, LaDamian Washington's 83-yard touchdown is the longest passing touchdown in the AAF this season. Again, the mirroring idea went into full effect because Fleet receiver Dontez Ford's 72-yard reception on the next play is the second longest pass play in the Alliance this year. So the 2 longest plays in league history came on consecutive snaps. I don't know what was more fun to watch, those 2 plays or Iron running back Trent Richardson going off with another 2.9 yards per carry average. Ford in Washington finished with 182 and 128 yards. Oh my God! I am onto something with this mirror shit. I'm more into mirrors right now than Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs. It feels like Luis Perez finally lived up to the hype this weekend. He threw his first 3 touchdowns of the year, pushed the ball down the field even with pressure in his face, and most importantly, he set up Nick Novak for the game-winning field goal, which he nailed from 43 yards out. Not only did that win the game, it cast Nate Kading's ghostly presence out of San Diego and onto his new home, Tampa Bay. Perez finally scoring reminds me of high school, when we were all waiting for Tommy Perez to finally score with his first real girlfriend, Janie Templeton. We all thought it would happen on spring break, in San Diego, oddly enough, where we took our senior trip, but Tommy, of course, died in a car wreck after overdosing on heroin that took his life in a freak skydiving accident when his scuba gear stopped working and he was eaten by a shark, which created the famous saying, there's an easier way to get a shark high. So I'm glad to see things are working out better for you, Luis Perez. But goddammit, you better hold Tommy in your heart. Your tiny little heart. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube. You gotta subscribe or I die like Tommy Perez. Also, give @WillKey6 a follow on Twitter. He helps me write football stuff here. We are back in the AAF coverage, baby. Unless you guys are bored and lost in interest, then I'll quit.